Hello, Mr. Audience. We wanted to talk about something that very much affects the doll community. Elsagate. Back in 20, back in 2015, 2016, 2017, there's this long-running problem on the internet where people would upload these weird videos with like Disney characters or characters like Elsa or Spider-Man aimed at kids. And they were really weird. They would have stuff like gore or syringes or things that weren't suitable for kids at all. Yet they would pop up on YouTube Kids. And yeah, Elsagate is a whole problem, and there are plenty of other videos that better explain what Elsagate is and why it's so horrible. And of course, we're not going to be putting any Elsagate footage because YouTube will maybe take that down if we included any of that. But yeah, like, Elsagate is a complex issue, and our doll mommy, while growing up, would occasionally encounter some of those videos in her recommended, and they were annoying. And the one specific part of Elsagate she wants to talk about is toy channels. More specifically, those fake toy channels that are used just to make profit for grown adults, and then they make them aimed at kids and put questionable, weird content in there. Those channels make other toy channels look bad. And because of the Elsagate toy channels, Joey is convinced that it's part of the long-running problem with YouTube turning off comment sections for a lot of DollTubers. And people who make videos with dolls or toys or have channels focused on collecting or the collecting aspect of it that aren't necessarily aimed at kids. Like, yeah, for example, while we may do doll roleplay videos on the channel sometimes, kids aren't the target audience for them. It's other doll collectors. It's other doll enthusiasts. It's other people who are able to appreciate the lore and the artistic aspects of doll collecting. And it's just the thing with like these toy channels that are like fake and all else again only for kids. People see this and think, people who are uninformed about collecting and stuff will see this and think like, oh, toys are for kids, or assume that any video that has a toy or a doll in it is for kids. They aren't. Yeah, there are plenty of like plush tube channels that definitely aren't made for kids, like SML or whatever that is. Yeah, that one is a very well-known example. And there are plenty more examples. Like one that something pops up in our Dollmates recommend for no apparent reason is Come Play With Us. Not that there's anything wrong with that channel per se, but like, it's definitely aimed at kids. Like, and there are many channels of a similar nature to that one. Where they have, and with YouTube Kids videos, they're known for over-the-top acting, using kids' characters consistently, and just, there's some, but the difference between them and DollTubers is, for a lot of DollTubers, they'll get creative with their content. They won't just stick to kid-friendly all the time. They'll do reviews. They'll be more objective with it. they'll treat the dolls with more respect, or almost as like art pieces at times. Whereas these channels don't. They just treat them as things to play with, which we get it. We are toys. Dolls are objectively toys, but it's like the thing with like adult collector spaces versus like spaces more populated by kids. It's like for an adult collector, a doll is not just a toy. It's an art piece. It's a manifestation of someone's artistic vision over at a toy company. There's something beautiful, something to be collected and taken care of. And another one that sometimes pops up and our homeboys recommended is this channel called Lalaaloo, where mainly uses like LOL surprise dolls and stuff, especially LOMGs, and does various custom stuff with them. Yeah, while doll customization is more frequently not the most kid-friendly thing, it's channels like that like will do it in a more kid-friendly manner and show it in a way that's more acceptable for kids to see. It's not like those videos where you see people customizing Monster High dolls or Rainbow High dolls and like taking out their eyes or repainting their faces and like sewing like really detailed outfits for them, which are clearly not aimed at kids because most kids don't have that skill set. Yeah. And then there's also Cupcake Squad, which is another one that exists. So, and yeah, it's also LO Surprise OMG focused. But that one, well, we feel isn't the worst because the person behind it clearly works hard on making the sets for the dolls and the role plays. And well, yeah, not all kids' channels are bad. Some kids' doll channels are actually pretty entertaining. They're actually adorable, and it's just. But then you have the ones that are questionable, that will have questionable content, or are just clearly aimed at a young audience with little or no educational value whatsoever. And something to look out for when looking for Elsagate stuff in modern time, because it still exists, by the way. It's stuff like Poppy Playtime and indie horror games. It's stuff like Skibidi Toilets. Yeah, Skibidi Toilet and indie horror games have become a common theme with modern Elsagate videos. And if you heard of the game Poppy Playtime, there are a bunch of questionable videos on the internet about that game and Minecraft and a bunch of other games that are like really popular with kids. The weird thing about indie horror games is that like they aren't necessarily aimed at kids in the first place. They're normally aimed at teenagers or young adults, like people who have money to buy the games on Steam and play them. And yet a lot of them develop these very kid-centric fan bases. And then you have really weird people get into these fan bases and just, well, make weird videos with these characters. And just feels wrong. The difference between normal fan content and Elsagate content is normal fan content feels like it has respect for the characters. Like the person behind it is clearly passionate about what they're doing. A lot of Elsagate content, on the other hand, comes off as lazy, uninspired, and just fake. So, Mr. Audience, especially other doll collectors, DollTubers, and stuff, have you encountered any weird videos in your recommended? Like doll related or toy related? Like, we don't mean the ASMR stuff. We mean like the stuff where it has this weird overacting where the video just feels very lazily made, or it's some really like ridiculous life hack. Yeah, life hack channels are weird. Or even worse, ones that deal with weird, gross out topics. Like pee jokes or poop jokes. Things that just are clearly aimed at kids. Are clearly such a low level of humor that's obviously fake. We know a lot of people have encountered these fake channels before. And we just want to explain that these channels are part of the problem of the stigma around dolls and doll channels. Because I think dolls and doll collecting, there is a whole community of adult collectors out there. It isn't just for kids. They aren't just toys to be played with by kids. Yeah, a lot of adults are quite passionate about it, including our doll mommy, and we just want to discuss this. Yeah, dolls aren't just a thing for children. Yeah, that they do make you think of innocence and childhood, but like, they aren't just for kids. They can also be collectibles for adults. And Elsagate ruins that perception in a way. Because you'll see all these weird creators just making these lazy videos clearly aimed at kids that just feel wrong somehow. You don't know how they feel wrong, but they feel wrong. Like, it's wrong in a way that makes you question if it's suitable for kids. It's content that feels empty and corporate and like, something that I wanted to look out for back in the day when Elsagate was a thing was yellow or bright blue backgrounds. Because that was often a sign that channel could be an Elsagate channel. Yeah, the use of bright colors is very prevalent in Elsagate videos. And other things to look out for is extreme overacting. Grown adults in costumes acting like little kids. And just humor that is not appropriate for a typical kids channel. Because yes, there are doll channels and toy channels aimed at kids, but none of those delve into gross out humor very much at all. Yet, when it comes to the Elsagate toy channels, they're full of gross out humor to the point where you question how it's for kids. And we're just warning you, mysterious audience, if you encounter channels like that and you don't like them, avoid them. Just don't watch them. And we know, because of it being aimed at kids, they'll garner millions of views probably. But even if it has millions of views, it doesn't mean it's always good content. That is the dark nature of Elsagate. It's not good content. Like, you know how fast food can satisfy you in the moment but isn't good for you? It's like the fast food of doll or toy content. It's cheap, it's lazy, it has no effort put into it. And often the people behind it are not the most mentally stable people. Or they're trying to target kids. Yeah, that's another concern with it. Not everyone makes kids content just to entertain them. Some people try to target them for not so good reasons, and if it's disgusting. I know, Naomi, it's very, very wrong. We also realized that this is our 100th video, so yay! And we can't wait to post some more videos once we come up with them. And get that in the mail, of course. Well, Mysterious audience, that was a quick little bit about Elsagate. Because we want to rant about it a little bit. And we had to discuss it. So, well, goodbye, mysterious audience. I love you. Naomi loves you. And we're just waiting for Dia to arrive in the mail so we can review her.